The problem with the LDG learning system at the moment is that there is too much content that is expired or not in a well-presented style, and it's not effective learning for the students that are coming through.
Through a multitude of different reasons, such as timescales, the presentation of the content actually involved, and the inaccessibility to the content over a long time means that there's no retention within the students as they go past into their career.
So we're developing an integrated system where you can access all of your courses and the information that you're getting from the instructors,
so that people can retain what they're learning, refresh on it later on, and provides the instructors an easier way to present the information.
I think initially defining a scope of a project, you think it's going to be pretty straightforward, but it ends up being super dynamic, and your target may shift left, shift right, and you end up in a completely different place than what you thought.
When analysing potential avenues, the project team initially looked within the Navy, and we found similar things around the effective use of resources and tools. The research then spanned to consider what was being provided in a civilian setting in terms of universities and secondary schools.
Through our research, we interviewed a lot of people and we got a lot of different and often conflicting responses and suggestions.
There were definitely some interesting pieces of information that came from places that we didn't expect it to come from.
The hardest thing was to sift through all that and also recognising the bias in people that we interviewed.
We initially started approaching it with the Agile process, specifically Scrum, and trying to work with that.
We used the double diamond model to find and track exactly where we were and where we needed to go next. As well as that, we used stakeholder analysis to really figure out who are we actually offering this product to, what do they want out of it, what do they need, so then we can really tailor it towards our customers.
All the sticky notes we've ended up with on the wall help make it a more dynamic process.
I was really surprised by how many other processes that there were to help create an innovative solution. They all helped to ensure, I guess, every solution and every roadblock was thought of so that when it comes to time of actually creating a solution, there are no surprises and your project can be successful.
It is important to follow the process in order to end up with a smoother transition, and then you also end up with a better product at the end of the day.
Came up with a problem statement that encapsulated the actual problem and then try to find solutions.
We had a look through a whole range of different online learning management systems.
Moodle and Canvas were front runners as they allowed other companies ensuring training and instruction easy use. We also investigated learning systems such as Dell, which was being provided by the Royal Australian Navy. Other learning aids which we considered virtual reality or VR and gamification. We decided that they would be tools in order to supplement the learning management platform.
After we'd explored a lot of options, realised that what we needed was more of a toolbox than a one-size-fits-all. We ended up choosing Canvas as the proprietary software that we wanted to use. Software like Canvas, it's tried and true with universities, and I think a lot of students coming through high schools now will be made familiar with platforms like Moodle.
The learning management system aims to supplement face-to-face instruction provided by instructors and provide more tools for the delivery of information.
I found it really interesting to work on this project, particularly being one where we've had to come up with our own solution and there hasn't really been a right or wrong answer.
What I really liked about this project was how open-ended it was. So rather than having to work within very tight constraints, we were given a very wide creative scope.
This project has been really relevant in the way that we've been given a problem and need to think of an innovative solution, which is, I think, a key part of any project, and particularly relevant for engineering projects.
It was an interesting experience. We definitely had an opportunity to explore the process a bit more.
Working on a project like this was different from pretty much all of the other projects I've done before, because previously it's always been quite small groups.
So the biggest lesson I've learned on this project has been the ability to adapt the plan and change things as different circumstances permit.
That's slowing down, going back, really defining our problem statement.
There's good exposure and a good introduction to how working as an engineer in the Navy would actually go.
university, project work can get very messy. So I think learning about the frameworks that are in place is definitely useful to learn about going forward.
I think the biggest impression for me has been actually work on a project that I feel has a lot of direct impact. I think that this is a much more better use of our time in the way that we have been given a very relevant and topical issue that many of us have experienced during training. It's been really good to actually put into practice some of the things that we've learned from university in terms of design processes and how we implement research and stakeholders into the projects.